Information. It is the invisible fuel that powers your thoughts, your emotions, and your entire reality. But because it's invisible, most people don't know the impact of what they are really feeding their minds. And we are only just beginning to wake up to this connection between our media diet and our mental performance. And in this video, I am going to show you the hidden cost of what you mentally consume and how to turn your mental diet into mental fuel for well-being and for peak performance. Hi, I'm Jody Jackson, a neuroencoding specialist who uses neuroscience to train your brain for high performance so that you can rewire your reality for the results that you most want. Now, your mind is the most high performance engine ever built, but it only runs as well as the fuel that you give it. Every day you feed it data, images, words, ideas, interactions. And these aren't just passing signals, they are raw ingredients that your brain uses to influence your mood. It shapes your mindset, it builds your beliefs, and it affects your identity. And I've spent nearly 15 years researching how media impacts your life. And if I could compress those years into one sentence, it would be this: when you change what you consume, you change who you become. And this is because your media diet, it doesn't just influence your mental health, it touches so many different aspects of your life. It shapes your mindset, it impacts your relationship, it drives your productivity, affects your sleep, and it even influences your physical health. And not only that, but media interacts with the deepest parts of your brain, the parts that control your focus, your decision making, your emotional regulation. So if you can improve this one area of your life, your media diet, you don't just improve a little, you improve a lot. You improve geometrically across every area of your life. Your media diet is a small hinge that swings a big door. And I believe that our media diet is one of the most overlooked areas in our lives and offers us one of the biggest opportunities for transformation. So let's start with some raw data. The average person spends between 3 and 7 hours consuming content every day. And they are not just hours. That's decades of your life, between 9 and 21 years of your one precious life spent staring at a screen. But if you look at this deeper, what's actually happening in your brain when you do this, I'm going to show you what is actually happening chemically, biologically, and structurally. So first of all, let's talk about dopamine. Dopamine is the molecule of motivation. It is what drives you to pursue goals or rewards. It is not about pleasure itself, it is about the anticipation of pleasure. And you may have heard that your media feed is like a mental slot machine. So every time you pull down to refresh your email, refresh your social media feed, you are pulling the lever, and most of the time it hits back with nothing. But once in a while you get a hit, a message, a like, a new follower, and boom, you feel alive for a second and you feel motivated, but you're motivated for low value activities. It's like training your dog to chase its tail instead of actually fetch the ball. You're rewarding distraction instead of direction. And over time, your brain becomes conditioned to actually chase quick hits, not meaningful wins. And when that happens, your baseline of dopamine drops. So without constant stimulation, you begin to feel bored, you begin to feel restless, and you begin to feel unmotivated. Then that big project you need to tackle, it suddenly feels like climbing Everest. And this isn't a lack of discipline, it is a matter of neurochemistry. You have unintentionally rewired your own motivation system. But here is the good news. What is wired can be rewired. You can train your brain to crave hard things. And I have a video that you can watch that explains how, and I will drop it in the link below. The second hidden cost of what you mentally consume is to your biology, and it's the one that no one talks about. So here is what most people don't realize. The information you consume isn't just shaping how you think, it's shaping how you feel, how you heal, and even how long you live. Think about it. Every headline you read, every video you watch, every argument that you scroll through, your brain treats like an experience that you are actually living. If you see something alarming online, your brain doesn't say, "Oh, that's just a video." It actually says, "We are in danger." It signals that in some way. And your body is instantly flooded with stress chemicals, cortisol, adrenaline, the same stuff that would have helped our ancestors run from a tiger. But now the tigers live in your feed, and instead of you sprinting to safety, you just sit there. Your heart might elevate, your muscles might tighten, your eyes are locked in on this glowing screen. And when this happens once, it's fine. But when it happens hundreds of times a day, your body starts living in survival mode and your immune system can actually go on pause and inflammation can creep up. You feel wired but tired, like your mind is running a marathon while your body is trying to rest. But if your feed can harm you, it can actually also heal you. You see, when you watch something that makes you laugh or moves you or fills you with hope, your brain releases a different kind of chemistry. It releases things like dopamine, oxytocin, endorphins, serotonin. These are like your feel-good pharmacists, and they can actually boost your immune system. They can balance your hormones, and they can tell your body, you are safe now. You can grow, repair, and rest. In one study, just 10 minutes of laughter boosted immune cell activity for 24 hours. So imagine this. Your media feed is like a buffet for your biology. Some choices are going to fuel stress and inflammation, while others will feed peace and vitality. Every scroll is like a spoonful. You are not just what you eat, you are what you mentally consume, because your brain is always listening and your body is always responding. And this leads to the third hidden cost, and it is one that quietly erodes your potential every single day, and it is called digital dementia. Now, this might sound dramatic, but it's real and it is rising. You see, our brains were designed to remember, to navigate, to think deeply. But in the age of constant connectivity, we have outsourced this to our devices. We don't remember phone numbers, we don't remember directions or birthdays, or even what we've just read, because we don't need to. Our phones have become our external hard drives. And you know what they say? Use it or lose it, right? So just like a muscle would shrink if you don't use it, so too does your brain. So neurologists are now seeing structural changes in the brain, especially in the hippocampus, which is the region responsible for memory, for learning, and for spatial awareness. So studies from South Korea and Germany showed that chronic screen use and information overload are linked to reduced gray matter in areas tied to focus and emotional regulation. And so in simple terms, we are weakening our mental muscle. And you've probably felt it. You've walked into a room and forgotten why you're there. You're reading the same sentence 3 times. You're losing your train of thought mid-conversation. It is not just mental fatigue, it's mental fragmentation. Your attention has been stretched so thin that your working memory, the brain's mental notepad, it cannot keep up. And here's where it gets empowering. Your mind forgets through distraction, but it can rebuild through attention. So just like muscles strengthen through resistance and repetition, your brain strengthens through focus. Every time you resist the urge to check your phone, every time you give something or someone your full attention, and every time you practice deep learning, you allow yourself to think creatively or allow yourself a moment of mindful stillness, you are doing a mental workout that rewires your brain for clarity, for focus, and for longevity. So if dopamine hijacks your motivation, and stress hijacks your biology, and distraction hijacks your memory, then just know that all of these 3 can be rewired with awareness, with intention, and with better mental nutrition, because your brain isn't broken, it is adaptable. You just have to feed it the right fuel. And that is what this channel is all about, helping you master the invisible inputs that shape your mind, your health, and your reality. So if you want to learn how to rebuild your focus, rewire your motivation, and restore your mental clarity, then check out the links below, because your mind is the most powerful engine that you will ever own. So make sure that you feed it well, and you will unlock a new level of performance that you never knew you had. My name is Jody Jackson, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, subscribe for more. My mission is to keep helping millions around the world train their brain for peak performance and lasting well-being so they can achieve the biggest goals and build a life that they know they are meant for. I'll see you on the next one.